Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. This video is going to be one that is centering around a particular item that I feel like a lot of players can actually leverage in terms of their builds. Now, this is not an exotic, and this is something that I think is within reach when you are at level 40, and this is the named P416 called the Glory Daze. Now, this particular one dropped for me when I was playing was it the Wall Street mission. We were farming for the Bullet King, and a friend of ours, somebody on our team, actually got it. So well, big ups, and hopefully we can get one for some of the other guys as well, so we can form some DPS players and eventually get into the legendary stuff more seriously. But even though this one I got has a lot of the attributes rolled pretty much almost maxed out, you can still get one that's being sold at the clan vendor as of today while I'm making this video. Today is, I think, the 13th of March. It's midnight, so I have to say I think, for those of you who may be wondering. And this weapon, actually, the way I mod mine is actually quite weird. And there's something quite peculiar as to how I do it. Now, this is my tank build that I run when I really want to concentrate more on this. I use, 4 True Patriot, mask, holster, knee pads, and backpack, where I roll armor on all pieces, or sometimes I roll weapon damage. So in case of this, I have weapon damage on the mask, but if I really want to tank up, I'll get a mask that has armor on there. I know I'm not going to be doing a lot of damage, but I will gain about 200,000 more armor, and I'll tell you why that armor is actually very important when we finish talking about this build. And then I use a Fenris chest piece so I can get extra damage for this particular assault rifle, and then using Vanguard, which is really nice to have on your on your chest piece. Now, what really makes this assault rifle stand out? Well, its talent is actually called, it's because it's a named item, it has perfect nearsighted, where you receive 100% stability at the cost of -35 optimal range. Now, the optimal range of this weapon is actually also very good, but when you lose that 35% optimal range, you're going to have to just deal with the stability, which a weapon that already has stability on PC for me is already a marksman rifle. And the way I mod this weapon is going to make you a little shocked when you see it. Now, bear with me, I might be noobish in my thinking, but I use the CQB SS scope for 30% headshot damage because that's pretty much what I'm going for. And this particular one that dropped from me has another 10% headshot damage. I also have health damage at 11%, and then I can go max out of 15% assault rifle damage, which I will do. I just haven't gotten around to it. It's just me going to my crafting bench. I have that. And then I also get headshot damage as well. I can also get, another headshot damage mod, which is, I think, on my muzzle. I think is on my muzzle. Why I'm not running it? Oh, okay, no, there isn't any for the assault rifles. Well, I guess that's it. So I took all 30%. Now, when I aim and fire my weapon, yes, I will be looking through this CQBSS scope, but ladies and gentlemen, because of how accurate this weapon is, it literally is a marksman sniper in terms of that. If you notice how much damage it's doing somewhere around 170,000, 152,000, depending on how much it's hitting for. Now, why is it exploding? Oh, okay, because it's True Patriot. I was like, whoa, what's wrong? Now, if I change the, say I change it to something like accuracy, right? And we hit those same headshots again, the number has significantly reduced. We're hitting 150 something for highs, 130 something for lows in terms of headshots. Now, you wonder, how can I consistently hit headshots with that? Well, I'm using, don't tell anybody, don't go telling people now. I'm using my shield, and I think it's still proccing the headshot damage, okay? Like I said, don't go telling everybody now and then they go change it before you finally get there, if you understand what I mean. So let me fire this weapon. Headshot damage is still hitting around 120 because of the optimal range. Optimal range is way far out there. Sorry, I'm mumbling, but I don't want anybody to know this secret. So I hit this about 130s on the lows, 155 on the highs in terms of headshots. Now let me change the CQBSS scope and put it on this assault rifle, right? Then put it on this assault rifle. And now let me use my shield. which gives me, and I hit the same amount, and I'm still hitting even much harder because the shield has a little bit more damage boost and all that good stuff on there. So it's still proccing nonetheless in terms of that. And like I said, don't go out there running and telling everybody, because once you tell everybody, they're going to change it. But nonetheless, even if they change it, the weapon is still very solid in my opinion. I don't think they should change it because I found it and I think it's really cool to have. And so this build is actually quite augmenting, that aspect where I can deal some damage and at the same time I can tank and do, some utility and support in terms of my gameplay. For those of you who may not have seen this build, my gloves are Motherly Love gloves. I have 20% skill health. This is the basis of a lot of, how I play. I wish I could get the Forge holster. I would really appreciate getting that. But in some cases, though, many of you might say, why don't I just run, Point Man, which has perfect vigilance? I understand, but the difference between perfect vigilance and regular vigilance is, I think, about 5% of my armor. And yeah, it's almost the same talent. I mean, invulnerable for 5 seconds, and you grant 50% of your armor to your team. Or in this case, you grant 45% armor to your team. Now, when I'm playing with randoms, this works because I can do some damage. But when I'm playing with a team that everybody's kind of playing their role, I'm going to go the full perfect Vanguard. I've used that also before. I'll slap some gameplay perhaps at the end of this video that we just played. I think I played one heroic and I played one challenging. And then there's also something pretty cool that I do with this build. I switched to the Bulwark Shield because that shield is actually very good in terms of just absorbing a lot of damage because it has more HP than the others in terms of that. So you're going to see me switch to the Bulwark once it starts to get a little bit hotter. But largely, this is how I do my damage using this weapon. So if you're using this weapon, let me know how you're using it in the comment section. I've seen people use it in Striker. I've seen people use it in different contexts, and share with me so that maybe I can take your ideas and see if I can implement them to make a better build for myself. But I'm heavily working on a tank. I want to fully spec and min-max a tank in almost every variation that I can find and make myself much useful on the team. In fact, the way this vigilance and perfect vigilance works, it's like being a healer without being a healer, because that armor that you're giving your team is just so good. When some of my teammates are, low on armor, I just toss my shield away and then pop it back up, and everybody just takes, 45 or 50% of my armor, depending on what it is that I'm, which one I'm doning at that time. So I hope you're not sleeping on this particular weapon. Right now it is for sale at the clan vendor as I record this video. I think the one that they're selling is not the greatest, but you can start leveraging it, getting this named item, and you can maybe hopefully get one to drop. I bought 3, put some in my chest for my other characters once I get around to leveling them up. And then I intend to use it and all that. Then this one went ahead and dropped for me. So it was kind of interesting to see, that this dropped here. So here it is in the vendor, live and direct. In fact, this one in the vendor actually has the maximum, assault rifle damage. This change, whatever. But come get it. You can then maybe add headshot damage, or you can add health damage, whichever way you want to go. All right. Thank you very much for your time and audience. I appreciate you guys so much. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.